If you're stuck trying to pinpoint the best business idea to start off with, no worries. In this video, we'll be going through step by step how to find a viable business concept and how to make it work based on my own experiences in the past. No fluff, just actionable insights from my own experience and journey. Let's get started. Hey there, my name is Veeti Ropponen. I'm an entrepreneur and a robotics student, and I've been an entrepreneur now for over 5 years. And for the last 3 years, we've been helping Finnish startups create amazing software at my software agency. And now for the last 6 months, we've been building a sales tech SaaS tool with my team. And in this video, we'll be going through on how to actually find the first viable business idea for your first company and entrepreneurial venture. It can be really difficult, but not to worry. We'll be going through everything step by step on what you should be thinking and looking at when selecting your first idea. But before we get into that, if you could, please press that subscribe button. It helps me a lot as a small creator. And also like the video and leave a comment down below on what type of videos I should be creating next. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. Start off with, I think we should get acquainted with the basics, especially if you're starting from scratch. Basically, there's two types of companies you can build. You can build a B2B company or a B2C company. B2B stands for business to business and B2C stands for business to customer. Basically, what that means is the audience you're going to sell your product or service to. In B2B, you're going to be selling to other companies, and in B2C, you're going to be selling to regular people. So for example, a software outsourcing agency is a B2B company. You sell software to business customers, and an e-commerce store selling t-shirts is a B2C company because you sell t-shirts to regular people, right? And there's a lot of different types of B2C and B2B businesses you can come up with and make. Obviously, if you look around you, everything is sold or made by a company, and there's a lot of different people making products and designing them and then shipping them and everything like this. So there's basically an infinite amount of different companies you can make. Some good, some bad, some easier, some harder, right? But generally, what you want to do is provide value for customers. That's sort of the game, the essence of how entrepreneurship works. It's sort of the game of capitalism. You need to be able to provide enough value with your product or service in order for somebody to feel like they're gonna buy it. So for example, your phone or the laptop you're watching this video on, that provided you with enough value for you to pay money for it. So, you know, phone calls, access to social media, filming, camera, like videos or photos. You felt like it's going to be worth it to buy the phone in order to get access to all those services. Yeah, you want to make that feeling happen for other people or companies when you're selling your product or service. So you need to provide enough value for people to buy it and get the value from the product. In my opinion, you should start off with what you know and what's the simplest thing to do. Because your first company is going to be hard to build because it's your first company. You haven't done any business before, and it's going to be really difficult getting into it and getting started. So keep it simple and go into a field that you already know and hopefully have some experience in, and give it a go. Try to figure out what you can do. For example, can you make a software? Can you provide a service? Or can you do like a product that will help the people in that field succeed more or provide them with more value? There are loads of different businesses you can start. For example, a SaaS, software as a service company. You sell software at a monthly price. You can do consulting or outsourcing. So for example, helping other companies sell more of their product, or, you know, for example, selling software outsourcing to other companies that need software, or then an e-commerce store where you sell t-shirts and whatnot to people. In the beginning, I highly recommend that you stick with what you already know, because it's really easy to get really complicated with businesses. And in the beginning, starting is the hardest part. So you should really keep it simple and stick to what you know and just get started. And then over the time, you'll learn on what to do and what not to do yourself. Business is sort of like this accumulative and iterative process where you learn by doing. You can read as much for the driver's license exam as you want, but once you get put behind the steering wheel, first time you're probably gonna shit yourself. And then, over time, you get better at driving, and then, you learn how to do everything behind the wheel, right? It's sort of the same in business. You can read a lot of business books and sales books and whatnot, but when you actually get down to it and do it, it's a whole different thing. And there's gonna be a lot of different quirks and small things you'll find out that you can only learn by doing, and you only get better at by doing. So just get started with the first thing you can come up with, and it will take you hopefully further. Out of the millions of possible company ideas, what should you do? How do you find an idea and that you can pursue? In my opinion, it's sort of like it's really difficult to find a good idea, because usually the ones that come up in your head are the usual ideas that people have already come up with and are already doing. But that's not a bad thing. You know, everybody should start somewhere, and if you have no other idea, then you can do something obvious as well. There's a big market for example, sales outsourcing, software outsourcing that seems pretty like obvious. You know, if you know how to code, you can sell your coding experience to other people or your sales experiences to other people and help them do more sales or build products, right? That's sort of what we did when we transitioned from making our own first apps and then moving on to the software development companies. You know, in high school, we made a couple of apps, a game app and a social media app. We couldn't monetize those at all because nobody wanted to spend money on those. And then the social media, we just couldn't figure out a way to get like enough money out of it, you know, in terms of advertisement and everything. So we basically knew how to make apps, but we couldn't monetize them ourselves. So what we did, because we wanted money, we started selling our software development knowledge to other companies, you know, startups, etc. We started making them websites and also their mobile apps and web apps. Through that, we learned a lot about entrepreneurship and how different companies operate. So doing work for other people as, you know, outsourcing is a really good way to get acquainted with sort of entrepreneurship and business in general, because you need to, you know, run your own business, do your own taxes, bills, etc., marketing and sales. And then you also get to be sort of in talks with other companies, your clients, once you get those. So we learned a lot during the 3 years we were building our software development company. We got it to around 200K ARR, and here's the proof of that, because there's a lot of scammer entrepreneur YouTubers out there. This is from the finder.fi site, which basically logs all the financial information of companies that are registered in Finland. So you can see the charts there. Once we were building the software development company, we figured out our latest startup idea, which is our sales tech SaaS product Mailmo, which allows you to create personalized sales videos to all of your leads, because we were doing a lot of sales ourselves, selling software, and when we were discussing with our clients what they need the most, everybody always said, yeah, we would love more customers. So we ended up basically sending personalized videos in our own sales process by hand. But then we realized, you know, we're programmers, we can automate this, and we decided to start a company that basically automates sales video generation, which we're now doing. So basically our two companies that we founded after the high school app experimentation, they were sort of a result of first the software company was, we didn't know what to do. We didn't have a new SaaS idea. And then after we had been doing this outsourcing work successfully for other people, we realized, okay, here's a sort of thing we can do. We can automate this process, and then hopefully other people will use it and we'll get money from it. So it was sort of through our own work and doing things and exploring, we figure out what to actually do. In my opinion, doing work, trying different types of industries, trying to sell stuff is a really good way to gain work experience and then basically figure out what's wrong or what could be automated or fixed, for example, for a software product, or how to do outsourcing. So that's a good way to gain experience. You need to just get into it and do stuff and ask people, or then do some work and sort of figure out what's actually needed. Because again, a lot of beginning entrepreneurs, they make fun things that don't necessarily have a big enough market or market at all. So you need to find a product idea or concept that people are actually willing to pay for. Once you've generated some ideas that you think could be viable for your first business, what you want to do is that you want to get good at iterating ideas and sort of testing ideas. So building a really quick demo for the software idea you have with low code, no code tools, running that thing in Excel sheets, something really, really bare bones that will let you test the idea if it works or not, and then get to the next idea if you're not unable to sell it or people are not showing enough interest. You should always ask random people opinions on the product, not your friends and family, because your friends and family will most likely say, yes, go for it, do it. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but obviously that will most likely skew your results, because the friends and family, well, they might buy your product, but the strangers in the industry you're looking into will tell the truth on how is it actually are they willing to pay for it? If you ask them are you willing to pay for this, and they say no because, then you'll find out the reason why, and if it's fixable or not, or if it's just not a good product idea. So you really want to be polling and asking people a lot of questions to figure out what seems to be the right direction to take your company. And it's a really important skill for entrepreneurs to test things out quickly, because you don't want to be stuck on an idea too long if it turns out that it's not something you can sell or buy or whatever. So you want to try to iterate as fast as possible, make a lot of MVPs, get them out of the door, and then see what actually sticks and what's the best way to go forward with a product. Word of sort of encouragement is that you'll most likely fail a lot of times. The most important thing is to pick yourself back up. Like for example, we've tried now quite a few startup ideas and different apps, and we've just only, 6 months ago arrived at our own product idea that works, and then it took us 3 years of like software development and consulting to get there. So don't worry, failing is a natural part of entrepreneurship, and it should be sort of embraced instead of like, it's not a bad thing to fail, basically. Entrepreneurship is a cumulative and iterative process where you basically get better over time by doing. There's no shortcuts, it's all just hard work, and failing is expected and will happen, so don't be afraid of it. What matters is how fast and how quickly you can pick yourself back up and get back to the grind and trying the next thing. Every great entrepreneur started just like me and you, basically clueless young people who just wanted to do something cool. The difference between them and the people who don't make it is that they most likely tried more times and something finally hit. That doesn't mean success will happen tomorrow, to the next week, or the next year, or in 5 years, or in 10 years, but it's only gonna happen if you try. And it only has to happen once you succeed, or twice, and then you're gonna be, set. And you're gonna make a great company and hopefully a living of it. Hopefully this video has been helpful for you. I really hope you got some general good advice on how to sort of iterate your way to your first idea. And if this helps, please press the subscribe and like button. Let me know what type of video I should make next. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below, or you can message me on socials or email. I'll be happy to answer all your questions and even have a call about your idea if you want to. Yeah, see you in the next video. Thank you very much.